allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Approval of the minutes. Everybody's read them. Got first by Mr. Twist, second by Mr. Walpole. All in favor? Going into resolutions. IT 1. Resolution awarding professional services contract part ERF 360 permit renewal engineering services between the Oswego County Department of Solid Waste and Barton and Judas DPC. Have a motion to discuss. First by Legislator Walpole, second by Legislator Holst. All in favor? Aye. IT 2, resolution authorizing budgetary modification Department of Solid Waste Insurance Recovery Fund to the Department of Solid Waste expense account. Have a motion? Mr. Lockwood, second by Chico Walpole. Stop laughing. All in favor? Aye. IT 3, resolution authorizing budgetary modification Department of Solid Waste MRF building roof repair. I have a motion. Second. Did you get that, Raven? Second by Legislator Twist. Open for discussion.
Want me to hit these quick?
Pardon me?
You want me to hit any of these quick?
You can if you want.
Well,
Give us a little input.
The first one is for our 360 permit. That's our solid waste permit. It's a 10-year permit. Earth is up next July. They need it 6 months in advance. So we're working to get that done and in. One of the differences of the new permit for the Earth, we will have to install radiation monitoring on incoming loads. Okay. So you'll be seeing a little project to do that. It is mentioned in the paperwork. It'll be a little standalone thing next year we'll do. That's that one. The insurance recovery, when we rented the high-speed grinder for organics, tree grinding, we damaged it, turned in an insurance claim, we got the insurance back. This is to pay the vendor, that's what that is. And this is actually the MRF, not the main MRF building, the office portion. It's the original roof from when the building was built, I believe in 90 or 91. It's got some leaks. We just want to put a coating on it, try to get 5, 7, 10 years out of it before we decide we want to spend big money on a steel roof. That's those three in a nutshell.
Thanks, Mike. Anything else? Anybody else?
I don't remember. How big was the grinder?
Well, it was 800 horsepower, big one, 600 horse. It's that big high-speed one.
Yeah. That'll go through or something on that?
Not this time, that was last year.
That's usually what happens.
This year,
Big pile. Who
and
knows what's gonna go through it, but.
this year, in the ambitious work level that we have, somebody nudged it with the excavator and relocated the radiator a little bit, so.
Good old relocation.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
$27,000.
Just curious.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. IT 4, resolution establishing capital project number 1323, earth capital repairs, reducing 0422 and closing 1122. I have a motion.
Move it.
Mr. Martino, second by Mr. Yurden. Okay, just open for discussion.
Okay, we've got various projects that I put into this one project. The first two are the big ticket items, and the rear apron and deck repair, that's on the back side of the plant where the ash comes out in the dump trucks, we drive around up to the top, dump it on the dump floor. That is all original decking. It's been repaired various times over the years, but we're seeing some holes, some cracks. B&L, we've talked to them about it for a few years. I believe it was the last ledge meeting, we gave them the proposal, the contract for that, so they're working on it. They met with us. Joe Wilhelm was here as well today. We discussed it, and we're going to get some bids in to see what it's going to take to get it spruced up and repaired. That's that one. The next one, the river water intake screen. I've got a show and tell here, Raven, if you would bring that picture up.
It's hard to see.
That's looking down from our stack. I took that picture earlier this year. You can see the round portion, and it's going down into the river bottom. That should be a flat T. So there's a drawing in your packet. I brought this if somebody wants to see it. The support structure has rusted away over the past 38 years. It was carbon steel. We had some divers come in and look at it. They took a video. Joe and I reviewed it. And the last resolution is actually B&L's contract to assist us in getting this replaced/repaired like in kind. There's going to be some permitting with the New York State DEC and the Army Corps of Engineers, because we will be driving piles into the river bottom. So this and the deck repairs, those two numbers are my best estimate as to what the final cost is going to be. When we get into these, and I have to revisit them, we will have the discussion at the time. So that's those two. Joe, you want to speak for the upper chamber re-brick a little bit? Is that one chamber, two chambers?
Two of them need to be repaired. One of them, number 4, is in pretty rough shape. We usually do them every 5, 7, 10 years, depending on how they react to the garbage. A couple of them are in need. The brick's going up 3 times is what it was 5 years ago in price, along with labor. And getting the bricks 24 to 30 weeks out, so the sooner we can get that on the list of things to purchase, the better.
That's that one. Joe, you want to talk about the switchgear battery bank? That's the battery bank on the wall.
Yes, the main battery banks, we have 3 of them, 1 for each turbine, 1 for the outdoor and indoor switchgear. The batteries are 5 to 7 years past their shelf life. They have to be replaced. We have a power outage. This is the battery bank that operates the switch gears and the relays, so everything actuates and moves like it's supposed to in the right sequence.
Okay, that's battery bank. Baghouse cages, bags and cages. We did 1/2 this year. How many mods did we do?
We did 1 last year. We've done several over the last 5 years.
This will get our next mod done.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's done. We've got the cages for 1 more mod. But we really should have 1 or 2 ordered and underway.
So that's this. Scrubber top rebuild. That is to rebuild the very tops of our scrubbers. They were degrading and actually dangerous to walk on. So that was awarded. This will secure the funding for that. And then the building relighting project, this takes the rest of the lighting to LED, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was also awarded. This will provide the funding for that. So in a nutshell, that's this list for the $1.4 million.
Grocery shop. Anybody else? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? IT 5, resolution award professional services cooling and water intake structure repairs engineering services. This is what you just
Yeah,
talked about
that's
here.
to do the engineering for this, which they did, the original engineering in 1985. So they're going to get that all dusted off and redrawn and help us secure the permits and get the bids to go.
I have a motion to discuss, I'm sorry. Mike, second. Dave, anybody else for discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Been there. IT 6, resolution authorizing budgetary mod at the Oswego County Airport to increase the gas and oil budget line to purchase aviation gas for resale. Have a motion to discuss. First by Mr. Martino,
Second.
Second by Dave Holtz. Open for discussion. Great.
Is this our second increase this year?
This is the first one this year. We did one last year.
How big was the one last year?
I think it was $30,000.
You're making money with it?
We are actually, and this one is coming out of the revenue line that is associated with that sale.
So you have enough money?
Yes,
here.
yes.
Moving money.
Moving money. Anybody
Putting
else?
money the wrong way.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. IT 7, resolution authorizing the chair of the legislature to enter into agreement with Turf USA, Inc. concerning turf replacement at Legends Field. Motion to discuss. First by Linda Lockwood, second by Mike Yurden. Open for discussion.
I know it was brought up that we took these seals back.
Mhm.
And I just wonder if it was possible if I could get the time frame when we did that, when that came up, when we eliminated the contract with the city of Oswego.
Okay.
We've not, it's still under lease to the city. We've got to terminate that lease. The season's ending, would be a time to do it. There was a license to sell beer that was attached to that lease. It could cause problems with the state, so they're letting it run.
I just know there was some issues that we had talked about getting
Yeah,
stuff taken care of.
we can take out the city as an intermediary. I think it will require another agreement with the agency that's running the fields, or assignment of that agreement by the city. So we can talk about that probably for next month.
Right. I know, well, yeah, as you know, we
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
some things that were being taken care of up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we bid these fields every so often? Are we bidding them to the person running the gates and the concessions and the actual games?
It's been under lease with the city. The city hired this concessionaire, not the county.
Okay.
So we're not required to bid a lease to the city. And the concessionaire was hired by the city. So that's
what
that's a
happens-
question for the legislature as to what they want to do when the lease is canceled and how we proceed.
I mean, this is a lot of money. Are we taking in a lot of money there? What are we making? What are they paying us?
City is not paying, I don't think the city pays
A
much.
dollar.
It's a dollar, yeah.
Okay.
So this will
Well,
have to be.
I understand that, but I also understand cropping in business. And I'm just saying that I would really like to have some transparency as to what we're realizing, be it in bed tax, sales tax, whatever. We're gonna spend a boatload up here of taxpayer money. And if it really pays off, that's a great thing. But I would really like to know what we're gonna lease this for, we're gonna put it out to bid, how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I did speak with Tim about this, and he was working on compiling some numbers to bring to us, so we could see what kind of revenue on the back end there's gonna be. He's been working on that for, I think, a couple months now, so I don't know if you'd like to add.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you again for considering this. The conversation about how much money it brings into the community, it's a little bit tricky because all you can do is compare before they were here, right? I mean, this program's only been running for about 4 years. So there is a pretty strong point where we didn't have, 2,000 kids, families, parents, and all that coming into Oswego from all across the Northeast. It was only back in about 2018. So it's pretty relatively new that this company came in. Now you're right, this contract is with that company and the city of Oswego, and then we obviously sub with the city of Oswego. The plan is to go forward, be the county directly, since we own the property, would contract with the vendor. There is I believe they're in the midst of, I think, maybe year 3 of the 5-year contract, so that's all conversation we can have. If we assign the contract, the thought in my mind would be we'd look to finish out the term and then potentially talk about what would we look like if we could create this from scratch. But those are all conversations we had as far as the contract. As far as what they've shown to have done there, they have some numbers that they provided me. I conservatively kind of redrafted my own numbers, but my conservative numbers based purely on what we saw going down there, how many teams were there, how many parents were there, where they came from. There is somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 to $3 million of direct effect. Now that's City of Oswego and Oswego County altogether, and obviously we all know that the City of Oswego does keep their sales tax revenue, right? So that's something to keep in mind. If the dollar is spent inside city limits, it goes to the City of Oswego. If it's outside of that, it goes to the county, right? So when we are booking these hotel rooms, regardless if it's in the city or anywhere else, the bed tax revenue is collected by the county. And so what we've been able to show in those last, say, 3 years is bed tax only. Again, I don't have the sales tax revenue for the city. That's kind of outside my world, but bed tax we do have. And starting when 2018-ish, now COVID throws in a little wrench, we all know that. But part of what we saw those last 3 years is people aren't traveling the way they used to. We have outages, we have fishermen, but outside of that, they're not a lot of businesses coming out. You're not flying people in the way they used to, the plants and all that. And yet we still saw somewhere around a 30% increase in bed tax revenues just between 2018 and 2021. It's been another big increase between 21 and 23. And this year alone, just year over year, we're only 2 quarters of the way in. We're up $30,000 in bed tax revenue just in the 2 quarters, and only one of those is even baseball season. So I'm very curious to see what this next quarter is going to come in at.
30,000 a quarter you're up.
Yeah, over what it was last year. But we're up over almost, we were booking about $400,000 a year for bed tax revenue back in 18. We're booking over $750,000 a year now in this year's budget. And I expect to be looking at $775 going forward without the turfing and being able to extend the season. So even with just the 9 to 10 weeks of tournament that they currently offer because of the dirt grass fields, we're seeing the increase already. And that's just in our bed tax. I mean, that's indisputable. The other numbers are when people are filling up with gas in Fulton, right? Or when they're up at Tailwater area. They are so full with these teams. They have 52 teams there a couple weekends ago. 52 teams. I mean, figure 15 kids per team, parents, that's a lot of people. Well, they can't even put them up in enough hotels. We don't have hotel rooms in Oswego County. They're booking Arsenal Street and Route 31 to fill up those rooms. So these people are here. Yeah, they're going all the way up to Watertown. So people are, and that's what, 45-minute drive or so. But the point is, there's a demand, and it's growing, and we're seeing it over only 9 to 11 weeks currently because of our dirt, the infields that are there now. You get a hard rain there, and that dirt infield is a giant mud puddle, and you can manually squeegee it. You can get hand pumps. It's not getting clear. So we had one weekend where we had the biggest one, 52 teams or 54 teams were here. If you probably remember, it was the same day as the event at the marina. And unfortunately, we got a pretty heavy rain overnight and into the morning. But it stopped around lunchtime. And if you had turf fields, you're out there, you clean it off, and you're playing 1, 2 o'clock. Well, they had to cancel the entire day. All those people who drove to Oswego from all across the Northeast, from Canada, are not able to play. And so that's really the big driver of why the turf makes sense. But you can see right now, the data already shows that we've had a huge increase just in bed tax revenue and sales tax revenue.
Okay, that's great. That's great news. But again, we are going to spend a lot of money. Can we structure our contract so that we get a piece of the gate?
And that's a great conversation to be had by the legislature, for sure. I mean, how you do any contract is up to the legislature to decide.
Ultimately fall on us for repairs, maintenance, and who carries the insurance for the property.
And those are all fair questions. What I will say, just as far as for maintenance goes, just so you know, they do contract with local, grass mowing companies. They handle all the maintenance. So they do. They mow. Oh yeah, but they do. So and I think that's around $20,000 a year they pay just for that piece of it. So they are investing their own money. They've also invested somewhere around $15,000 to $20,000 of their own money each year just into other expansions that you'll see there. So
well, I mean, they should. They're making a boatload of money.
Agreed.
So I'm just saying, maybe it would be fair if we could look into structuring a piece of the gate for the county.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of options that we can discuss. I think this is going to be awesome, to be honest with you. So I think we can make this beneficial for both them and us. They need to make their money, we all get that. But, I mean, this could be something cool the county has that, to be honest, we don't have any huge attractions. This could be our first something. So I think it's a good idea. And there's a
I
lot
just
of
don't wanna
options.
get
to go to.
shorted.
Yeah.
Well,
We're famous
here's
for that.
the deal, Marie. Couple, 2-3 years ago, neighbors down the road, and that's all they did most of the summer is go for these fields all over the Northeast. And Herb Jordan, if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he shadows his grandson, and they go around, not just here, they go all over the Northeast, and it's become, I want to put it like something, it's like a CB radio, nobody had a CB radio, and in the 70s, everybody had one, And it's the same with these ball fields, they've been sitting there all this time and nothing, but I've been out there when they've had those rains, and I'm like, if you guys are gonna do this and not put drainage down, you're just throwing money
Well,
at.
I discussed drainage with them quite a
Yeah.
ways back. I just understand equine services, I don't understand.
And you and I drove in that parking lot at the EDP committee meeting 2 years back, and you said, this is
I
atrocious.
just
Well,
don't wanna act as the bank for them.
I get it. I get it. Anybody else? Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Jake. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's carries. We got to walk on IT 8. Resolution establishing capital project 1423 parking lots. Motion to discuss. First by Mr. Yurden, second by Jay Martino. Bill, you want to fill us in on this?
Yeah, we have a number of parking lots, 3 to be exact, that we have been talking about either resurfacing or constructing. So my recommendation is create a capital project for parking. We can start doing some of those projects. The first would be Legends to get that resurfaced, which the highway department will be doing. The other is assuming we move forward with the kayak launch, set that money aside so that it's there. And the other is the DSS expansion of parking. And by doing them together, if there's a cost overrun or it comes in cheaper on any one of these projects, a single capital project covers it. We've done that with other capital projects for the work is similar. And then we have one project to track.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of dismayed that they're lumped, but I thought the kayak launch, we got a grant for that whole project. And there was
Part of the
in-kind services tied to it. I'd have to relook at the contract.
Right, and I believe the surfacing of the parking lot is one of those in-kind services.
Correct, that's correct. The parking lot is our local share portion of the grant.
That's 50, how big is that drive for that parking area?
Pretty small. It's smaller.
It's a really small little loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's 55,000. I mean, it's an Indiana Jones launch. You're gonna die on the way down if you get there, but maybe it'll be a fun attraction. I don't know. This DSS thing to me has just snowballed from hell. It's 430,000. We had the buildings were taken down. We're just build it and they will come. So I can't vote for it because they're lumped together. Not that it counts, but that's my 2 cents.
Anybody else? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Marie?
Are we getting money back since it's DSF's
Yeah.
parking lot?
Yeah.
Even though we lumped them together?
Amortized
It's advertised
64%.
64%. And the reason,
But even though we lumped them together, we can still get them.
oh, yeah.
A little over half.
And the bids. First bid we've got up is the bid 23HW009 mix plant electrical upgrade. Motion to discuss. Holly?
Bids.
Oh, yeah, so the electrical plant, we sent it to 10 vendors and posted it, of course. We have 4 responses. and the lowest responsible bidder was DICOM. We also, I think we included it in your packet, we double checked with them to make sure that they have the apprenticeship program, and they
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
So, and all the board that responded also went there for a pre-site meeting. So they all know what it entails.
I move we accept the bid for, account.
First,
That's a good question. Were these published also
Yes,
and invitation?
yes, we put on VidNet, we did, and on our website, and advertised in the Pell Times, and we sent it to the 10 that were listed.
Just the number difference around the letter.
I know.
I personally don't understand that.
Well, the million, I mean, compared to everybody else.
Well,
Might be that he didn't really want the job.
Fair enough. That's the, if I'm the only bidder number, I
He
guess.
thought he was at Legends Field, he thought he was hitting home run.
you might have.
okay, a motion to accept this bid to Dykow Electric.
Gary.
You already did it?
Yeah. All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, the next bid was for the sale of scrap metal, steel and scrap. We keep sending it out. We've had vendors call us, scrap vendors call us. We've taken their names. We sent this directly solicited, and yet we only got one vendor to respond. You know, we posted again. And some of these, they have called us, and we added them to our list. So I don't get it, but
Go ahead.
Our scrap, is this coming out of,
No.
not you, where is it coming from?
highway.
Highways, how much do you have? How many tons?
Well, it depends. Last year, we did a lot of cleaning, and then we had the auction. I mean, I had vehicles that were just completely junk, rusted, falling apart. We robbed parts off. No one would buy them, so we brought up a trailer for scrap. And because we put it out to bid last
Did you
year.
crush them?
They did it. I mean, doors off, hoods off, motors off, whatever. So we had to clean the place up. So this year we put it out to bid again, and like she said, we got to rebid it. And we had people call. We've never had anybody call. They were-
But won't somebody come to you like junkyard and crush them on site and haul them out of there?
Not enough.
We don't have enough material for that. I mean, we had maybe 10 vehicles that we brought. If we had 50, 60, but I don't have the room for that. You know, just keep it for years. It ain't worth it.
You can't cut stuff into short stock for better money.
I can cut it in the short stock. I'll have a guy out there for a year doing it all day long. You know,
Not very good with reports.
Is this the first time this was bid?
No,
This year?
we
How many
bid
times
it
did you
every
bid
year.
I mean, how many times this year did you bid it?
Oh, this was the first time this year.
Okay, even after contacting all these people.
Yes.
When is the current contract up?
We don't have one right now.
There is none. So, and how do the prices compare to the previous?
I'd have to look.
Well, if it's up or down.
I don't even remember a contract being there because we jumped on the solid waste one. We used to bring all our stuff there and just leave it in a pile for that one company to come get whatever his deal was. But I said, highway, this is all highway material. Why don't we just keep it in our department instead of just throwing it up there?
And scrap, if I'm not mistaken, it fluctuates.
It does. It goes up. and
In
down.
the past,
Yeah.
haven't you guys brought it up there yourselves?
You know, yeah,
We have, yeah.
Crushed it up.
And then we just bring it in and
Right.
And since this is the first time this was bid this year, you have the options to accept this, or you have the option to reject it and have another bid. Or just call these places and say, here it is. So trying to drum up some bids. It's up, those are the options.
Seneca Falls does the best prices, don't they? For scrap.
well, the thing is, some of this bid is I haul it there. You know, I'm hauling it, or they come get it, but I don't have the scales for someone to go there, get it. I don't know if they might be cheating us. I don't know.
We're rolling over the scale, right, they'll give you a ticket.
If they come pick it up, I don't have a scale to
when it leaves, they could write a ticket for 10,000 pounds, it was 35,000 pounds.
They got scales, right?
Well, you can drive by there first. I mean, I can drive over there
Your
first.
truck empty, fill it up.
It just seems like scrap brings decent money.
So what are the prices in your company?
75 a ton, and he picks it up, and he has to go across our scales. And that's also up the end of next month, so I'll be in discussions to get mine on commit as well. We'll see what responses we get. I've talked to various people that have shown interest. We'll see what we get back on the street.
Is your vendor this vendor? So he's gonna bid, you award this, he's gonna bid these low numbers for yours.
Well, but you're changing your bid a little bit.
Yes,
So we're
I'm
not
gonna
sure.
try. We'll see if
You're
we get
gonna
anybody to. I'm concerned because we have mountains of metal at 3 locations, that at some point the DEC is gonna come in and say, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to do this. So I wanted to structure it such that I had at Bristol Hill 2 30-yard containers, and I had the people put their metal scraps right at the transfer and loader, and then my guys take it and put it in the 30-yard container. And do similar things where we've got, Oswego's easy, that's got its own pit, that one's out of the mix. But the ones that have piles, I'd like to have some containers there that we control filling them, and then call the vendor and say it's full, bring it empty, take the full one. That's how we'd like to structure it. Now, if I can get anybody interested or not, we'll see.
So maybe better just to have a single scrap metal bid, one contract. And they pick the metal up from whichever department it is, you track it for revenue. And that way you don't get 2 bids playing off.
Well, was this just a one-time bid anyhow, or is this?
Yeah, it is a one-time bid.
So I mean, we could
It's
still
not
do
a-
that.
yes.
We could get rid of the junk you got now.
These bids are, I mean, this
And then-
is structured, so
Or we
it's
can
like
wait.
they have a pile, we put it out to bid, it's cleaned up, it's not for a year or 2 years. Yours, ERP's a little different.
Well,
Highway
ERP is its own, because that's separated out of the ash. Weitzman got that one.
Right.
Murtaugh got the other
The
piles that
solid
we
waste.
just collect at the transfer stations. Yeah.
But typically, that's how we do it for highway. For a month, they come, they clean everything up, and then it's over. Then we wait until they have more stuff and we go out to bid, because scrap metal changes price.
Doesn't Weitzman pay by metric ton?
I would have to pull that contract out.
My husband's a junk freak, it's a metric ton, that's why he's driving 7 Ferraris.
They would pay by whatever our bid scope was.
I thought it was
He
bid
buys
out
by
by short
metric
ton.
ton.
but
It was
I
bid by short ton.
I thought it
He
was.
said short ton on it.
What's short ton versus metric ton?
Well, a short ton's 2,000, a long ton's 2,200. I don't know what a metric ton is.
And with a single scrap metal bid, you'd have higher volume, you might get better prices.
It's Weitzman's gonna pay metric ton.
Well, when we bid it, we don't tell them how much, because we don't know.
I can, at the end of the year, I can compile some for the past couple of years and see what we've taken out. I don't have that information today.
Yeah, in the bid, you put in the bid information, what the tonnage was for the last 3 years in different departments, that gives it.
But the difference too with mine is it's mixed, like when we do our CFCs and our freon recovery, that stuff goes on the same pile. So there's aluminum, copper, and tin mixed in with steel, and the vendor sorts it. We don't sort it. And I really don't want to get into that business because I don't have the staff to do that. So that's the difference. Rashawn's probably got more steel in a package than I would have. That's just food for thought.
Jim?
I like that idea of the dumpsters, I think that might work.
If I can get somebody to do it.
My other question is, are you running out of space, Sean? Is this something we should do right away, or?
Well, truthfully, we cleaned it up, pretty much most of it already. I just want to have it when I get we got dumpsters, little dumpsters. When they get full, I gotta get rid of them, cutting edges from plows. We gotta get rid of it. I just don't like it laying around personally, but I'm in the place, and I just want to get rid of it. And we can, on a snowy day or something, load it up, bring it over.
I
That's all
think
I
the
have.
highway is slightly different because it's steel that guardrail pieces. and that
Right.
kind of thing.
Old bridge
But
bucket.
historically, it's solid waste, when the price of scrap goes up, we take in less, because the people are taking it to the scrapyard themselves. Much like Uber's husband was doing.
He likes red brass, he has a particular fondness for it.
Jay?
Jim, the chairman asked my question. There's a lot of different variables when it comes to scrap metal. I mean, there's no two ways about it, because, like, I know at the transfer stations, you'll have everything from aluminum, steel, copper, tin, you just want all that stuff. So I don't know any other way. I do like the thought of having it. I mean, you got a mountain over in Hastings,
I know.
it's incredible mountain over there.
Same the last guy in Bristol.
Yeah, same, I mean, obviously I see Hastings. So, I don't know, I listen to the committee's, point of view of whether we should accept or reject.
This isn't the same one as for the.
Oh, right,
This doesn't count.
Yeah, this is just for Shamrock.
This is for Sean to clean up what he has right now.
Right.
That's all.
A one-time
It's a
deal.
one-time deal.
I'd say let's do the one-time deal, we can make
Yeah.
his anxiety will be gone, it'll be cleaned up, and then we can worry about the other stuff in the future. It's not like a huge load, we're not losing, even if it goes up tomorrow, we're not losing a ton of money. Let's just get it done so I can see the vein showing on his head, let's just.
Oh, it's not that
All
big. Then consolidated, I think it's a good idea.
I think that's a great option for the future.
Have a motion to accept this bid. First by Chico. Second by Mr. Yurden. Moving on.
Well,
County-
can I ask a question?
What? Yep, go
So
ahead.
then, would you want, when Mike is ready to bid out, that we look at making it all-inclusive of other departments too in that same bid? Is that what you're saying?
I think we might have some advantage there, even if we end up with asking for separate bids on each department. We'll have, some vendors will be able to handle all the different types. Some may say, well, I can't do the sorting, I'm only going to bid on highway. And you can break up the bid and award it to the county's best interest. So it could be awarded to multiple.
Right.
I think the way my contract is coming up is done by transfer station.
Yes.
And it's worded, yes, like that. So I think we
So
can
then
make
we can
it,
just add
yes.
highway
I
at,
think we can
okay.
make it work in the verbiage of
Their garages though.
Well, I'm adding 3 more spots.
You and I will, we'll work it out.
Go ahead, Jim.
Just wanted to know what to do.
Yes.
Couldn't you, the county had just one price where they put it out, they get the bid. And Sean's scrap is minimal. If you just brought his scrap to say if it was the Hastings yard, whatever, like you were saying, they weigh it right there, they use your scale, and then go. You would know this pile over there went to highway, you know, because I can understand his point, it came from his department, they want to give you the money.
Well, that's what I did have Kurt do all these years.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why the metal was all going.
Oh, right. That way, if you just brought it to one spot, you know, then you could just have one spot where, hey, that was hers there. When those people do come, I need to know the numbers on that file.
Or we could set it up in PC scales, I think, put a code on it. If it's weighing through, we just, however interdepartmental runs get, we just give you the money. It's,
Yeah. See, I'll tell you, when I got there, we never went over the scales before when we used to, and I go, why is the highway department losing out on all this scrap steel?
The
We're
money
getting rid
was
of
all
it.
going into.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going. It's kind
If
of
we can split it out, it's your money back.
Right. We go over the scales, we can have the 3 places, I can
I think we can make it.
keep it work like that. I'd love to go over the scales, it'd be a lot easier. And then you'll have 2 dump trucks a day there coming to your place.
We won't even notice the difference.
What's up? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? County of Oswego temporary license agreement for veteran / clear path for veterans Inc. Make the motion. Motion to accept. Chico, second by Mike Yurden. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Temporary license agreement to use the Scriba Highway facility for event parking between the County of Oswego and the World Racing Group. I think we do this every year. Just for parking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Move it.
Second.
Motion by Chico, second by Pat Twist. Discussion, all in favor? Oh, okay, real name. Let's see, this last one is, all in favor? I think this last one is for the Agricultural Society of Oswego County is requesting your help for disposal of trash at the Fairgrounds Fall Festival, September 29th, 30th, and October 1st. In the past, we've graciously issued a waiver to cover the tipping fees. That has greatly appreciated. Move it. Move it. First by Pat, with second by Dave Holtz. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Yeah, I'm sure it was brought to your attention, we had a request from the town of Hastings, for the highway department. They're requesting to waive the fee on some millings that they received for the parks.
Yep.
It's common that when municipality waive the fee, they're using millings for areas in the parking lots. Excuse me, of our parks. That's what they're requesting, you had to get the penalties.
Yep, they sent me the email.
Okay.
Anybody gets a chance, Hastings Park, I'm blown away with it. Tony Bush has been working on that for a couple of years now. And my first question was, how are we going to keep it safe? And then the state troopers barracks are on top of the hill. So was down there the other day, or a couple of weeks ago.
Sold the property for $1.
So,
Make a motion, we waive.
Right there. They were in our building now. We want them to go out, get out, so we can repurpose our building.
go ahead.
Make a motion, we waive the fee.
Okay.
For the millings for
Motion by,
town of Hastings.
have a second.
Second.
Pat Twist, all in favor? Aye.
They stayed with my appointment.
I see one abstention. Let's see. What we gonna do?
See? That's something like that.
All right, that's all done. Recording departments, buildings and grounds, department updates.
For our updates, the vacant house out at, where the DSS parking lot's, that's abated and ready to be demoed. The contractors have started at the buildings and grounds, putting a new roof on at the main office. That HVAC contractors have started up Camp Palace, started to put the units in out there. And we're putting new metal roofs and stuff out at Camp Zerby.
I know somebody recently asked about Zerby, and there was going to be Wi-Fi available out there. I know they have internet out there. I always thought if you had internet,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a way, because I know there's some events where they asked if there was Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there's gotta be a way to do it, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks for the update.
Thank you for the update. Mike?
Just a little quick update on Camp Zerby. That's the old flag complete.
Thanks, Mike. Highway. What do you got?
We're paving still.
I hope so.
The plan's going, it's going slow, we're taking it easy with it, because I don't want to break down again. But we're up north, paving up there, we have two roads right around here, Oswego getting done. And I want to try to cram the most we can, because we got to listen. A lot's not going to get done this year because of the rain, weather, plant being down, but.
No, we didn't get any rain this year.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why you have
Oh.
Keep going.
No, we're basically that, and we're going to start getting ready for winter. Getting plows, sorry, that time of year.
Thanks, John. Solid waste.
City, you're first, and Joe can give us a little brief update on our shutdown, it's winding down.
Yeah, our annual shutdown every year. We've done a couple upgrades, couple projects. Hopefully we're back online by Monday. It's going very well.
I'm gonna start taking holidays back, what, tomorrow morning?
And hopefully,
That's the showdown. Joe and I did meet with, Greg Velez and what was the new gentleman's name?
Chris, I don't want to butcher his last name.
The new plant manager for next door. We discussed our steam and condensate issues. So we laid out our expectations to them. Their contract is up the end of this year. I have dug through Frank Visser's files, and I know how he calculated the rates. So I will update the rates to reflect energy costs now. Rich and I will get all of that put together. That's it for that. I have switched to landfill. I have, the survey is done. Next committee meeting, I'm going to bring a guest speaker with me, Jillian from B&L. She's got the landfill program, the fill rate program set up. So I'll have to run through that with all of us here, we'll put it up on the big screen, and we'll show how the effect of the earth running and not running will have on the future of landfill, our fill rates and such. I will say this, looking at our history, our 38-year history, 40-year history, we had 90 acres permitted for a landfill in 1985. We have 37 acres of property we have not developed yet. So cell 5, the next cell 5 will be 5.5 of those 37. We're one of 2 counties in the state of New York still operating under a permit like that. So we, as a county, the community, the department, the legislature, we've done a very good job managing our landfill and our earth and our municipal solid waste. So I think that's a real good thing.
Whatever happened to the adjacent land?
They were, they called me a few times and I don't know, I just said, look, put it on the market. I didn't think we were spinning our wheels, and Carl was still here.
Then you'll get a
So I talked with Phil, and I said, Phil and Rich, I said, here's what I'm going to do, and they said, just, yes, do that. So that's what I did.
Did they put it on the market?
I don't know. I've got other things
A couple of times, and they had some astronomical figures.
I just wait, like he said,
So, yeah,
get a sign on it.
I said, you know what? I got other things I got to worry about.
Well, and a grinder will help you.
Well, I want to hold that thought for our next committee, because I want to go, we're pressed for time, I want to go through the prints, have Jillian go over our fill rates, and yes. The answer is yes. So let's save that for next.
And will we be able to review the contract with Lidell concerning the return rates of demineralized water and the rates we sell at?
This is my first go around in doing something like this, so that's more of a Rich Mitchell question. I don't know, but.
Worth a lot more than.
Yeah, we'll work to that end.
Along the lines of what Marie's saying, my concern even more with the rates are a lot of the issues that you guys have had at Oswego. The damage.
Yeah, it's gotta be written in the language, it's gotta be
There's gotta be
responsible.
someone here that, when nobody's
You
responding
and I
to a
have
phone
been,
call, you shut them down.
we've been discussing it, Rich and I, we've had a few discussions, and
Quick question, I know I asked way too many, but demineralized water, I know you're testing the pH, but is the pH, I've got to read up, is the pH neutral on demineralized water? What is the ideal pH?
It's not mineralized water that we're getting back. It's called condensate. So to do that is a whole different process, which they do not have the capabilities at this time. So steam goes to condensate, the condensate comes back. The
Makeup
pH,
water, what do they use it for
right,
makeup water?
makeup water has been a mix of condensate and river water. Basically, it's been processed.
Destroying the boiler.
No, let me finish. So the water that's coming back, that's makeup water, the biggest issues is the conductivity is a little bit high, okay? And we have high hardness incursions because their system isn't repaired and up to date like it should be. This new company, Alphagen, since they've taken over, we've made great strides with them in communication, and they've done a lot of repairs. The water has been getting better. And I think it will keep getting better because we've had contractors order since May working on it.
I think they have to be forced to deliver a certain product at $1 million repairs.
I agree.
It's outrageous. And our rate of sale, prices have gone sky high on towers. We can make so much just selling it to the grid.
Well, we're still under contract with now it's National Grid for the rate that we've been, it was a 40-year contract. It'll be up in,
40-year
it'll
contract.
be up in 25. There's a whole story here.
You can do it
At some
right
point
now.
I'll share it,
But
but
you can do it right now.
Yeah,
Mike,
The good part is it's up in 25.
yeah.
Mike.
The good part is we're gone in 25. We don't even have to worry about it. But
Speaking Chinese, but
Just like,
All right, hang on.
just
Mike,
like one comment about the return concept. It should be no water ever added to that. I would say from what I listened to over the period of time here, I don't know, I guess it will watch possible. It sounds like to me, the steam traps in the other facilities are not functioning correctly. Because you never, ever add raw water to the condensate. It does two things. It screws up the boiler. Secondly, now you're lowering the temperature of the condensate coming back to our facility, which means we're going to need more energy to convert it back to steam. So the whole operation, there's got to be written in the contract that that is not going to happen because that's what's destroying our piping, the system, everything else because of poor maintenance of the other facility, and we should really go and inspect it.
To be fair, it's been sold like 5 times.
well, let's see.
that's outrageous. We added it up. It's outrageous.
I agree.
Contract's in
And I
25.
really would
Hard to be
like
mad at
to
the
see
current
this
owners
because
when that was 5 owners ago.
I do this all the time. I just repair high schools and everything else because of poor maintenance. You have the raw water come back, now you gotta add more chemical to get the right explanatory for it. So it's causing us a medical stuff, the chemical side as well as everything else. So I think you really gotta take a real close look at the very near future. And have it in the contract if they're going to kill it.
Anybody else? No, we got airport.
I'll make this one a little quicker. I just got some great news last week. We've been fighting with the FAA to get our ILS system upgraded or changed for the brand new one. And I just got confirmation last week verbally that they will be doing that. That's all the FAA's expense. So they'll be ripping out the whole instrument landing system for us, putting a brand new one in. We can't get parts for the one that we have right now. It causes a lot of outages, and that way, when in climate weather, people can't fly in because the ILS is on it. So they should be starting that in April. Again, FAA 100%. They maintain it. So it's a huge plus for us, especially with everything. And I'd also like to invite everyone to the pancake breakfast this Sunday. That's from 7:30 to 11.
This Sunday? This Sunday?
Yes.
Anything else?
Free flights.
Okay.
There is free flight. Go ahead, for children.
Brandon, if I could, I know I had some people ask me, touched on it. I was asked about the fence.
Yep.
The whole entire perimeter fence.
So-
How come somebody gotta do something around that, you can see where it's getting in this already.
There is, through the bipartisan infrastructure law, I do have an application in to repair all of the failed sections. We actually started taking some grindings from the runway project we just did, and we're trying to make an access road around the perimeter so that we
I know
can
you got that skid steer, don't you have a forestry mulchers or something for the front of that, make your path all the way around the fence?
No equipment, I haven't got the skid steer yet.
7 to 80 grand, of course.
We've rented one a couple of times and done a little bit of.
We have I don't know how that.
All right, that was my only question. I'm often asked about that, why it always looks like healthy.
And usually we do have the fence line sprayed too. We did not have it in the budget this year to have the spray.
Central services update.
Main item is the video camera system. Pretty close to having all the cameras installed. There's quite a bit of fine tuning we're doing, and stuff dialed in. One of the challenges that we've had is the Benson Johnson control. We have an installation team here that knows X amount and some of the fine tuning issues. Our understanding is the service team is better equipped to fix that. They have been unwilling to dispatch certain people until we sign off. There are no sites unwilling to sign off at this time. So they do have service techs here this week finally. They're on to resolve some of these issues. Whatever. I've asked them how they have that structure. Another issue we've identified is that we're still getting information on this practice configuration. We're going to get dialed in. That's what potentially at 60 cameras that may not be super full. So still getting some facts straight on that. It may be if it's not, we don't have satisfaction on that. I'm going to need to escalate it down to control, so further up the food chain, because there's going to be additional costs that we shouldn't be aware of this. But still getting facts to get on all of it's a pretty sizable work. So it's quite a bit of work to go reinstall or add something to them. Don't have all the facts yet, but the example is the way these cameras handle low light conditions. If they're not, you can't do configuration. In the winter months, for example, we're going to have 8 hours of decent archival footage, and the other 60 will be useless to us. There's no way we expect the system will be good with that kind of outcome. Because we're still getting some facts straight on it. See where Johnson control position is, but we don't get some satisfaction. We bump up their food chain a bit, and it's getting I'll go back.
Very good, thank you. Very good. Look for the proper motion. Motion to adjourn, second. All opposed, Mr. Twist, all in favor?
Aye.